Um, the County Grant Fund aims to support ECB affiliated clubs to create a welcoming environment, provide enhanced facilities and playing opportunities, and also to tackle climate change. This links in with our facility strategy that we've been working with ECB on for the last 12 months, and we aim to launch that in April of this year. We know we will be oversubscribed for the budget that we currently have, and therefore priority will be given to applications from clubs that are actively engaged in ECB and Cricket Wales programmes. And these are women and girls cricket, all stars cricket, dynamos, and/or disability cricket. Eligibility. So we have 3 themes in the County Grant Fund, and each theme has different funding criteria, different eligibility criteria. Creating welcoming environments is only open to ECB and Cricket Wales affiliated clubs that ran All Stars and Dynamos in 2023 or are actively involved in women and girls cricket or disability cricket. Providing enhanced facilities and playing opportunities for women and girls cricket or disability cricket. This is only open to those clubs that are actively involved in competitive female cricket and/or disability cricket. And we must be able to see these teams on the play cricket system. And lastly, the final theme is tackling climate change. And this is open to all affiliated cricket clubs. As a minimum, clubs must have the following to be able to apply. You must be affiliated to Cricket Wales, either through your league or directly. You must have a governing document, so you're either a constitution if you're an unincorporated organisation, articles association if you're incorporated, or equivalent if you have any other governing body set up. You must have valid building insurance, building contents and public liability insurance, and I would urge you to check that these are in date. Last financial year, this was an issue that we had with most applications, that because we run the grant fund out of the season, that insurance documents weren't in date. Security of tenure, and what I mean by this is, does your club have a lease, freehold, or a license a minimum of 1 year? If you are doing any building work extensions, you must have one of these agreements in place. You must have a bank account with the club's name, and financial documents for the last budget year. Additionally to the ECB guidance, we at Cricket Wales also will ensure that you're fully compliant on the Safe Hands Management Portal, and you must have signed up to the ECB anti-discrimination policy. Now, this is an absolute minimum that clubs need to comply to apply for the funding. Additionally, if you're successful through the expression of interest stage, additional documents will be requested as part of our due diligence process. So, for example, planning permission, maybe building regs, depending on the project you're doing, or a feasibility study if you're applying for an interest-free loan linked to the project. Ineligible projects. So we often see clubs coming in for large-scale projects, and these are projects over £100,000. If you're applying for a project, your total project worth is over this amount, then you will be rejected at the expression of interest stage. Ineligible projects, any project already funded by an ECB grant or an interest-free loan at the ECB. So it's something that we already funded last year that the project is still continuing, we will not fund again. And also any project already started. Unfortunately, we can't retrospectively fund applications or projects. A question that I've been asked in the run-up to this webinar is, can I apply again? So clubs that received funding in previous years may apply again, but there are certain restrictions. So you can only apply for 1 grant per ECB budget year. And clubs will not be able to apply for a second grant with the same themed project follow in the 2 years following. So, for example, if you were successful in obtaining funding for a project under the Creating Welcome Environments theme in 2022, then you cannot apply for the same theme until 2025. If you'd like clarification, if you've had any previous grants from us, then please feel free to drop me an email or any of the area managers, and they will be able to support you with this. So, and I'm going to run through the project themes. Clubs should only choose one theme. So the 3 themes, as I alluded to earlier, all with different eligibility criteria. So theme number 1, creating welcoming environments. Again, you must be supporting All Stars and Dynamos and have run programs in 2023, and be running women and girls cricket and or disability cricket. Providing enhanced facilities and playing opportunities. So you must be involved in competitive women's and or girls cricket and or disability cricket, and we must be able to view this on the Play cricket system. And the final theme is tackling climate change, and any club is open to apply for this. So now I'm going to take you through examples of what each theme we can fund through each theme. So creating welcome environments, this is the experience you give anybody that walks through the doors of your club. So we look at things like social space, toilet facilities, catering, system arrival, and digitizing. Something we are really keen to support this year is toilet facilities and improving those. We know through our facilities strategy and the work that's been carried out that toilet facilities are particularly poor for women and girls. So we would welcome applications that support new toilet facilities for women and girls. Just to note, if you are applying for toilet facilities for your whole facility, then you must install cubicle toilets, as we will not support replacements or new urinals due to safeguarding. Also, something to note is if you're looking to do something around catering, remember when offering catering in premises, you will need to comply with the Food Standard Agency regulations in Wales. I'm just going to show you an example of Northup Cricket Club, who did a social space project. So they renovated their club room. They did a consultation with their members. And the feedback that they had was that the clubhouse was quite intimidating, male dominated, and rugby bar like, and it wasn't comfortable for ladies and women, especially the toilets. They didn't meet the standards at all. As you can see from the before and the pictures, there's significant difference in the environment. They've done a lot at the club and seen significant difference from their members. Another project that was funded under this theme was Vale Cricket Club. This was a kitchen refurbishment and the introduction of a commercial oven. The club realised that to generate income for long-term and provide sustainability, they needed to operate in a different manner. The introduction of the commercial oven allowed them to hold functions and they were able to generate income. The second theme is providing enhanced facilities and playing opportunities. So traditionally, if you read the guidance...
Sorry, Vic, can I just interrupt you? We've got a couple of questions on your previous slides.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer questions now, or we're going to answer?
No, can I answer all questions at the end? Is that okay? Thank you. Providing enhanced facilities and playing opportunities. You'll notice when you receive the full guidance notes that this does encompass non-turf pitches and outdoor practice nets. Cricket Wales, we're encouraging you to not apply to this fund for it and apply to the Sport Wales Be Active Wales Fund, so we can ensure that this fund goes further. So in this theme, we would encourage you to apply for individual shower spaces with drying areas, improved toilet provisions in changing rooms, and personal possession lockers. We will be prioritising this theme, as the growth of the game for women and girls over the last 2 years has been astronomical. We need to ensure facilities are fit for purpose for women and girls. When looking at provision, facilities aren't also labelled, but we also need to provide discrete, separate facilities for different genders to change. I do urge, I know there's a lot of males on the call this evening, I do urge you, if you are doing a project that involves women and girls, to please talk to the women and girls in your club about their requirements, and also their taste. Our taste isn't always the same as males. So, and just a reminder that practice nets and non-turf pitches, if you could apply to Sport Wales, so area managers and club development officers will be able to support you with this process. And this is an example of some toilet facilities that were done at Newport Cricket Club. The toilet facilities that they had previously, you'll see from the pictures, there was urinals, it was quite old-fashioned, toilets were broken, leaking, and with the investment of ECB funding, they had new toilets, which also included an accessible toilet also. Our final theme is tackling climate change. And here we're going to focus on flood resistance, drought resilience, energy saving, and water management. And you'll see from the slide some examples of items that we will support. In the full guidance document, it details about drainage and electrical equipment, such as ground maintenance equipment. Again, we would prefer applications to be made to Sport Wales, the active fund for this, to ensure this fund goes further and we can support more projects. Just as a note, Norfolk Hall installed solar PV in 2023, this last funding year, and have seen a significant difference to their electricity bill. One thing they did note, and which they hadn't taken into consideration when planning the project, was protection from the panels as they were in the direct shot line. We would also recommend that clubs seek an energy saving audit to understand what your current usage is and what would be most beneficial to your organisation. You may think that solar PV or insulation would be the best thing for your club, but it's really good to have that baseline measurement and someone advise you what's appropriate. If you'd like any more information on energy saving audits, please drop me an email and I can send you over some information about energy saving audits. Okay, what funding is available? That's why everyone's here on the call, I'm guessing. They want to know what piece of the pie they can get. So we are accepting applications from £1,000 to £10,000 per application. And this doesn't mean that it has to be the total project cost. Your project may go over this amount. However, as I mentioned earlier, must not exceed £100,000. However, the ceiling of our grant will only be up to £10,000 on this occasion. If your project does exceed £10,000, you can initiate partnership funding, which is the difference between the total project cost and the amount of grant. It can be sourced from club funds, so your reserves, other grant bodies, or sponsorship. As part of the stage 2 process, if you get past stage 1, we will ask for proof of this as part of the due diligence process. And lastly, the grant offer may differ from that requested by the club. Cricket Wales has a predetermined budget in this financial year. We know we will not be able to support every application, and the panel may make a decision to part fund applications. If this is the case, we will contact you before offering you to proceed to the next stage. Key dates. This is really kind of crucial for everybody because I wouldn't want you to miss any of the deadlines. You've all attended the call tonight, and on the link booking in the email, you will have also noticed at the bottom, I'm holding a county grants drop-in clinic next Wednesday at night from 9:30 to 6 p.m. with 15-minute slots. This gives every club give club the opportunity to do a drop-in with myself to answer any questions you may have around your project or due diligence. If you'd like to book any of those after the meeting, please feel free to click the link and book in schedule a meeting with me. Secondly, expression of interest. The expression of interest opens on the 1st of February. And this will be open till the end of play on the 14th of February. Any application received after this time will not be accepted. The panel will review all expressions of interest on the 19th of February, and communication will be sent to all applicants on the 20th of February. So what I'd like to do is I'm trying to make this really transparent, so everybody knows when they should receive communication as well. If anything happens that delays any of these processes, then we will send out communication. If you're successful in getting past the expression of interest stage, you will be invited to submit the stage 2 application. This will open on the 20th of February and will close on the 17th of March. During this stage, you will have to submit all your due diligence information. So things like your constitution, your insurance documents, quotations, security of tenure, as part of your stage 2 application. No outstanding documentation or due diligence will be accepted after this stage. So it's really important you meet those deadlines. I would say the sooner you get your information onto the system, either myself or my colleagues can have a look for you to make sure you're meeting all of that criteria. The panel will review all stage 2 applications on the 22nd of March. And communication will be sent to all applicants, whether successful or not, on the 25th of March. If your project was successful, you'll be able to start your project immediately after receiving your contract from the ECB Facilities Department. You sign that, return, and then you can commence. One thing that we do ask is all projects are completed and reported to the ECB via the IMS system, which I will explain a little bit more about in a minute, no later than the 31st of December 2024. So if you cannot complete your project by the 31st of December 2024, then I urge you not to apply, as you will not receive the funding for this. Planning your project. Please give careful consideration when planning your project. Is this the right project for you? As I alluded to earlier, you can apply for County Grants Fund year on year, but you cannot apply for the same theme for the next 2 years. So is this the right project for that theme for the future of your club? Allow time. Don't rush projects. It's really, really important that you put time and thought into your project and you understand the time restraints around your facility development projects. In the facilities team and the development team across the organisation and at ECB, we understand that facilities projects don't happen overnight. Lots of them can take time, and especially those with the pressure of applying for planning permission, building regs, those that require suburban drainage systems. For those projects with a total project cost up to and including £24,999, clubs will be required to submit a like-for-like quotation. So you will not just be able to provide one quotation, you will need to submit a like-for-like quotation in your stage 2 application. For projects that with a total project cost of over £25,000, a minimum of 3 quotes will be required. Additionally, when we are asking for quotes, we expect a line-by-line detailed quote and not just the overall project quote. Again, if you have any questions, please drop me a line. Some things just to be aware of. Some projects do require planning permission. Never assume that you won't require it. It's always probably best to check with the team at Cricket Wales or ECB facilities team whether you'll require it or not. Only the local planning authority can confirm whether you need planning permission is required or not. And just to be aware, this can take on average to 12 weeks for a decision. We need evidence on some occasions, even if it's not required. Examples I put on the slide of projects that are likely to require planning permission. For example, some local authorities will say you do not need planning permission for new or extended patios or decking areas, but we require proof that you do not require it. So we would require either an email from the local authority or a letter on headed paper stating that you do not require this as part of the due diligence process. Okay, so we're coming to the end now. You'll be glad to hear you don't have to listen to my voice much longer. So the process, how to proceed with the application. You'll need to access the ECB IMS portal. The link is there, so it's ims.ecb.co.uk, and this is where you will complete your application. The club will need to identify 2 contacts. The first contact will act as the application processor, and they will submit the application, and the second one will act as the second signatory to approve the document. If you are not already linked to your club via the IMS portal, you will need to go and get that access by accessing the IMS portal initially to link yourself to your club. The next stage, you need to complete the expression of interest form containing as much information about the proposed project as possible, who it will impact, and what difference it will make. The more information you have at this stage, the better for the panel. We only will be reading and taking informed decisions on the information on the application. So if you don't tell us about the impact that it will have to you, your players, your junior section, your women and girls program, then we won't know. One piece of advice I would say is, please don't tell us about your club history. As application panels, we see lots about club's history all the time, but that doesn't inform our decision making. And it just wastes your time. We know how great your clubs are and how long they've been established. What we want to know is what impact this funding will make moving forward. Again, just to reiterate these key dates. So the 31st of January is a drop-in clinic that you all have the link to in the webinar email initially. I will resend that link out in the morning if you wish to book 15-minute appointments with myself regarding the County Grant Fund. You can ask any questions. They will be individual club appointments. And yeah, I can answer any questions you may have about your project. The second one is most important, is the expression of interest is open on the 1st of February to the 14th, and that will be the closing date for all applications. And then the other important date is the second, if you do proceed to the second stage of application, this will open on the 20th and will close on the 17th of March. And again, no outstanding documentation or due diligence will be accepted after this time. So I absolutely urge you to get all of that due diligence information and documentation onto the system as soon as possible. That draws me to a close of the information that I'm sharing this evening. As I said, I'm sure there's some questions that are burning. You probably want to know if your project is viable and is it something that we would support. I'm happy to take some questions from the chat now, if you can let me know what they are, Sandy. And as I said, we will send information out, the recording, the documentation, and how to sign on to the IMS portal tomorrow morning.
Okay, a general question. Can the participants have a copy of your presentation?
Sent out in the morning with the recording.
Yeah. Does the 2-tier eligibility count if initial grant isn't successful?
Yes. So only applications that that progress to the stage that progress from the expressions of interest will go to stage 2.
Okay. We've got a question from Riaz. Can you expand on the tackling climate change if we need to improve our drainage? Would you need to speak directly with?
Yeah, so with regards to the tackling climate change and drainage, what we would encourage you to do is apply for a Sport Wales Be Active fund, as they will fund drainage projects via that. What we would encourage you to do is have a PQS, and it will give us a better understanding of why you require that drainage and what is required to be put into it. I think you've already had a visit from Iestyn, so I'm waiting for Iestyn's report on that project.
Okay, Samantha's asking, does the climate change cover battery storage purchases?
It does indeed.
Okay. Would we be able to get an ECB grant for a shared facility? We share our pavilion, and would it be a barrier to application?
No, absolutely not. As long as you can show that security of tenure, it's something that I'm really, really keen for organisations to be working together. We're working quite closely with the Cymru Football Foundation and FAW on joint funded projects. So if you do apply for one of those external funding applications as well, please use this as partnership or funding or vice versa. But absolutely, multi-use venues are great for the community.
Okay. Can we apply this fund and the active fund in the same year, the Be Active fund?
Absolutely, we're both two different organisations, and you should try and apply for as many funding pots as possible. As I said, this you can only apply for ECB County Grants Fund once per year. And yes, you absolutely can apply for a Be Active Wales Fund in the same financial year.
Okay. What happens if our lease is due to expire this year, but it's going to be renewed automatically by the council? Okay, can they accept that? Or will there be no action?
So we will need to see the commitment from the council and that ongoing negotiations. That will be taken on a case-by-case basis, depending on the current state of your lease and what the intentions are from the council moving forward. That's probably a discussion that we can probably pick up later if you're happy to book in an appointment with me.
Okay. Can we have details of where to access the energy saving audit?
Yeah, again, if you just pop me an email across tomorrow morning, I can send you all of the details on organisations that will support you with energy saving audits.
Can you apply from 2 themes in one application?
Yeah, so on the system, when you go into the expressions of interest, you will only be able to apply for one theme. So I would look at your whole project and see which one it fits best.
Okay. We've got Richard Jones. His proposal is to extend to include changing facilities for women and girls that play in mixed league teams and juniors who play in senior teams. Is this eligible?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, that wasn't a very long answer. It is eligible, so.
And from Natalie, just to check with regards to enhancing facilities, would this cover, for example, carpets, tiling and painting?
It depends where the carpet was. Those enhancing facilities are normally around changing facilities, and we wouldn't encourage carpet in changing facilities.
Okay, that's all our questions for this evening.
Brilliant. Okay, that just leaves me to say thank you very much, Diolch yn fawr, and we will send out the information tomorrow as soon as we've gathered everything to send you out. So thank you very much for your time, and it's much appreciated.